it's really a continuation of the human tradition of building. And it's really centered around people first. And what I mean by that is the design and the decisions that are made, it's a much more complex way to design and build because everything is a little bit tighter, and then the details start mattering a lot more. Privacy starts having to be designed rather than just happening automatically because you've just got a bunch of space, right? And privacy is really important. And so people, when I start talking about urbanism, sometimes people get really scared saying like, oh, everyone should live in apartment buildings or no one should have cars. And I'm like, that is not what I'm talking about at all. I really don't like apartment buildings very much. I think we need some, and maybe we need those in Midtown and things like that. But like, that's not what I mean when I mean urbanism. I just mean things like, for example, in Wheeler, a diverse range of housing. And here's an example. They've got houses that sell for $300,000. And I know that some people might say, well, that's too expensive. I can afford a $300,000 house. Why don't they have cheaper stuff? Okay, fine. It's really hard to build cheap stuff today, I should say, by the way. But, they've got $300,000 houses and they've got $1.5 million houses and everything in between. They've also got ADUs and garage apartments that you can rent out or use as your home office. They've got fourplexes and live-work units you can rent for $1,200. They've got an apartment building coming. And what's so cool about that is you can get such a diverse range of people within a single neighborhood. So you can get people in their 20s that are single and want to be there because it's cool and vibrant. It's easy to meet people. You can get families that have kids and want to live there because their kids can be free range kids. And this is my definition of a good neighborhood, is when you can have free range kids. And what I mean by that is just kind of kids out and about. It's not at the playground. The whole neighborhood's the playground. And Wheeler's still under construction, so that's kind of limited a little bit, but that will just expand more and more as it gets better. And then guess what? You also can have older people, so multi-generational living. And it's not that you don't have cars. People in Wheeler don't have cars. Of course they do. But they can do a lot more without a car. And as Wheeler gets built out more, you're going to be able to live more of your life in a smaller radius. And I've been thinking about this a lot because when I lived in Carlton Landing, I knew more people than I had ever really known at any given time in my life. I don't mean they were all best friends because you're really limited capacity for best friends. But this was my understanding. It kind of flipped how I thought about community. I used to always think about community was the neighborhood dinners, the HOA thing, some big event. And I'm realizing it's not the big things. Those work, and those are great additions. Community is actually the small things. It's the small touches, the small interactions, the small, like seeing people on the walks, taking out the trash, going to get your mail, grabbing a coffee at the gym, checking out somewhere. When you're interacting with the same people over and over again, maybe a couple times a week or a few times a month, you don't know everything about them. You don't know their politics. You don't know but that's actually a good thing because we can't get along with everyone. Like the people I'm going to invite into my home to have dinner with, I don't want to have such limited time, and two, they're probably going to be my good friends. But like, how do you have community outside of that? Well, basically we have like really good friends and family and some work colleagues and nothing in between. And I think that's part of the problem. So when I say community, it's all these opportunities for small touches. Because when you live in a neighborhood like mine, which is a great neighborhood. I love it. It's in some ways I love it, I should say. Linwood, great old neighborhood, 7,000 square foot lots, 2,000 square foot houses a lot. And I know the neighbors directly around me and we get along really well because I'll take out the trash and I'll see them, right? And then there's a park we can walk to that's a ways away, but like I never see anyone. And so when there's the 2 HOA events a year, I go and it's like a little awkward because you don't remember the last time you're like, I recognize you, but I don't even remember your name and I don't remember what you do. And it just, and so that's what I like about Wheeler. It's an invitation all the time. You don't have to. That's what the porches are for. You can wave at people if you want, or you can not if you don't want. It's not about being all up in each other's business. Like people think that. It's like my wife is an introvert, I'm an extrovert, and we both love living in Carlton Landing because of that. So,
No, you're right.